Hi Colac, my name's Keryn. I'm one of the Salvation Army officers here in Colac along with my husband Aaron, and what that means is together we cover anything salvos in Colac, so you'll probably see us around town. But today it's my absolute privilege to say that I am becoming an ambassador for Let's Talk Colac. This is something that is really close to my heart. Let's Talk Colac bring awareness to the public about mental health, and that sits really personal with me because I have my own life experience with mental health, and I suppose I'm going to spend this week talking to you about a little bit of my experience and some of the things that have helped me along the way to deal with this whole idea of mental illness being something that we don't talk about, something that is a shameful secret that we want no one to know about, and that actually that's not true. Mental illness, like any other illness, is something that we can't help. It happens to many people, probably more people than we understand, and it is something that the more normal we make it out in the public eye, the easier we can deal with it, basically. So I'm really passionate about talking about my experience and creating spaces for other people to share their experiences too. So a little bit about my experience. I was probably around 19 years of age when things really got out of hand for me. Anxiety was a really big thing for me. It was physical, it was emotional, and I got to the point where I was having frequent panic attacks, frequent symptoms that were affecting my life. One particular night I was driving home from work and I had a panic attack, to which I called my father, who managed to talk me down enough to get me home, and he took me to the doctor, and it was that night that I was diagnosed with anxiety, and it was suggested that perhaps I wasn't able to control that as well as I was able to before. So I went on a pretty long journey of self-discovery, discovering within myself what the triggers were for these anxiety spaces and how to continue life in an active way and a normal way, so that anxiety didn't become the ruler of my life. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to share a few more specifics along that throughout this week. But one of the things I want to say today is that idea of perfection. We talk about it a lot. I think it's in the media. I think it's in everything that we do, this idea of perfection, that we all have to amount to something perfect, something amazing. It's talked over us from a young age, and it continues throughout our adult age. And I think it's not discriminatory to women or men or children. I think we all feel that pressure of perfection. And I think for a long time, I experienced that. I experienced the idea that I needed to be perfect in the way I looked and the way that I expressed myself, the way I shared with people, the way I was a good friend or a good wife or a good mother or a good daughter. So it becomes this thing where, you know, if you're not perfect as the person next to you, then suddenly you think there's something wrong with you. And something really profound that I heard actually while I was in training to become a Salvation Army officer was the idea that perfection, while in the dictionary it might say many things about being absolutely, you know, the be-all and end-all, there's actually a simpler explanation for perfection, and that is fit for purpose. That actually perfect means that we are fit for a particular purpose, that we have everything we need to fulfill a purpose. And that really hit me because I understand that in my life I have purpose, and it may take me some journeying to find out what that purpose is, and that purpose can change throughout our life from younger to older, but that actually I have everything that I need within me to fulfill the purpose that is especially for me. And so we have to work towards understanding our true purpose in life. It's got nothing to do with that perceived perfection of looking or sounding or doing the most perfect things. It's actually about fulfilling our own inner purpose of life. And so this is something that I work towards within myself, and I have to remind myself all the time, but it helps in those anxious moments of thinking, oh, I haven't done enough, or I haven't made it to where I need to be, that actually I'm fit for the purpose that is for my life. And so yeah, I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow, and I want to share a little bit more tomorrow about some of the things that help me with my anxiety, and also just a little bit more detail about some of the things that are the hardest things that I tackle with anxiety. So I'll talk to you soon.